Hello. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Let's see, type something so I can see that you guys can hear me and you can chat. Huh? Can someone type something so I can see that you guys can type and chat? Hello. Can someone type something? I want to see that you guys can type and chat with me. Awesome. That's cool. How's it going, Paul? What's going on? I haven't been around for a hot second, so I figured I'd go. And if people have any questions, I'll be happy to answer questions. I know I haven't made any videos in a really long time. So typing. Bomb. Thank you. I appreciate it. How's it going? How's everyone been? How's music? Awesome. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm gonna be doing a little more of these lately because I haven't been doing. I'm gonna start doing these a little more often because I haven't been making any videos. So I figured at least I'll keep some contact with someone. But I don't think that YouTube is really in love with me right now because it's not showing that I'm going live because it's like YouTube is telling me, well, hey, if you don't make any videos, we're not gonna show your followers that you're live. So I think that's what's happening. Well, that's all right. I think if there's less people, I can answer more questions and maybe be of some help to you guys if you have any questions or anything. Music, not a one gig in the last 18 months. I hear you. I hear you, Paul. I hear that, brother. That's usually how it goes. There's not a lot of gigs now, but I actually toured. I toured the whole summer somehow. And Bob Reynolds' tour is canceled. Yes, Bob Reynolds' tour is canceled. You guys hit the like button for me, will you? Just so more people see this and we can answer more questions and more people can join us. So hit that like button if you can. Thank you. The thumbs up. That way YouTube will show that I'm going live and I can answer more people's questions. Yeah, all the touring is. I mean, it's tough. I was in Europe the whole summer, luckily touring, but I don't expect that to happen all the time. And now Bob's tour is completely canceled, so we're not coming to Europe, which sucks. But well, what can you do? It's pandemic. There's not much we can do. But I figured I'd still come live, and and if people have any questions, I'm happy to do a Q&A and talk to you guys about some music concepts or ways to practice different things and show you guys stuff because I know I haven't been making videos, so it'll be really cool to hang out with you guys again and to share more stuff and to answer more questions if people have any. That's if YouTube even shows that I'm doing a Q&A. I think YouTube isn't really happy to show this Q&A to a lot of my followers because I haven't been making videos. That sucks. Well, we'll see. Maybe some people will still join. In the meantime, would you please hit the like button for me, the thumbs up, so that more people can see this video. Thank you. Paul is asking, have you learned anything about yourself during the past 18 months? Yes, I have. Oh God, I have. I've learned that not having enough time is not the reason why we don't do things. I think even sometimes when you have a lot of time, you end up not doing much. And I learned that it's not a matter of having enough time. I learned that it's a matter of priorities. Even though I did write a new record, and my new record will come out next year early. Other than, I did that. So that was cool. I'm very happy with the new album. There's going to be some special folks on it. Kurt Rosenwinkel's going to be playing on it. He already played. Some other people. I'm super, super happy to announce that it's going to be a really fun record. But I learned that I could probably have done a lot more. And I didn't not because I didn't have time. I didn't because I didn't prioritize things the way I thought I would if I had more time. And, well, no, it's not how it works. That's what I learned. Yeah, I'm back teaching at USC a little bit, University of South California. I'm subbing for some really amazing musicians, the Yellow Jackets, actually. So when the Yellow Jackets go on tour, I take over a few of their students and their ensembles and stuff at USC. Most of the band members teach at USC in Los Angeles. So I'm doing a little bit of that. I'm finishing the record as we speak. I'm growing in my practicing. I'm practicing more things. I think I'm becoming a little more consistent of a player. Finally, at almost 41, yeah. I think my playing is becoming a little more consistent and a little more. It's just, I think a lot of us experience this. I think a lot of people basically grow as players, and then the rest of the growth happens in the mind. How well can you focus? How well can you be present? These things, right? So, and these things you can't really practice. Like if you transcribe solos or whatever, it doesn't really matter. These things are mental operations, and these take genuine maturity, if you have any. Wow, I really think YouTube is not showing my followers that I'm doing a Q&A because I haven't posted videos in a while. So, yeah, well, that's what you get on YouTube when you're not active for a long time. YouTube is like, well, screw you. We're not going to show people that you have a live Q&A. That's what happens. So, yeah, you guys ask away. If we get more people here, there'll be more questions. But I like it when there's not a lot of people, so we could really focus on specific things you guys want to know. If I can help at all, if I know any answers to any of your questions, now is the time to ask, because there's not a lot of people and we can really dive deeper into the stuff, Yeah. Wow. YouTube is really punishing me for my being inactive. We usually get about 50 people in here. And now it's like, wow, very few. What do you think about Messiaen modes? Yeah, I mean, nothing particular. It's to me, all of those things, including the Messiaen stuff, those are all tools. You could use them. I mean, I think that's great. I think it's great. I think you could use them as colors. That's about it. I don't think any of them any different than I think of any other ones. Use them as colors if you like the way they make you feel. How do you practice the stay present thing when alone? Oh, hey Julian, very easily. I start improvising and playing by myself, and my mind wanders away from the ideas in the exact same way that it does if I play with other people. Believe me, the way you do anything, Julian, is the way you do everything. If you have a tendency to not be present, then you won't be present whether you're playing by yourself or with others. I'm playing by myself or with a play along, and I try to develop my ideas and have a flow from one idea to the next without sort of zoning out. And that's how I practice the whole staying present thing when I'm by myself, right? If I don't stay present, I won't stay present whether I'm by myself or not. At some point, I'm going to tune out. And I think the great players, Chris Potter said this. They asked him, he's like, this is really the difference between the good players and the great players. It's how, the amount of concentration they're able to achieve. And I couldn't agree more. You went to get my listen to a lot of podcasts about Lyle Mays. You're playing as the same. But, yeah, Lyle Mays Lyle Mays is about as good as it gets in my book. I love Lyle Mays so much. If you can't tell by my playing, uh, uh, it's yeah. I mean, and I can't juggle. I think Lyle was a lot more talented in more ways than I am. He could juggle. He could play pool. He was a computer engineer, like software engineer, programmer. Lyle was amazing. Let's see what else is here. Let's see. How about Garzone triad system? Same thing. The Garzone triad system is amazing. I think it's awesome. And again, practice that and see what kind of sounds the Garzone triad system is going to what results it's going to give you. A lot of people like it. I haven't practiced it that much, but Garzone triad system is awesome and creates a really interesting sound when you play. Uh, Yeah, those are old tools. I love all of that stuff. Check all of it out. See if you like the sound, if you like the vibe that it creates, and like stick with it. I think the Garzone triad system is awesome. Have you heard of integral theory? Is that the Ken Wilber thing? Bill? Bill is asking if I've heard of integral theory. Is that the Ken Wilber? I might have. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing. Carlos is saying, "Hi, dude. Great to see you again. I love your playing and the lessons." Thank you, Carlos. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Adam is saying, "What is that on your head?" Well, that's the remainder of my hair, and I don't know how long it's gonna stay there. Probably not very long. That's you heard it here first. um, let's see. Let's see what else is here. You look stable. Well, I hope you're right. I hope I'm stable. Uh, Feels all right these days. It's not too bad. Where the hell are you? I know. Dave is asking. I know I haven't made any videos in a long time, and that really sucks. And I'm really sorry. It's a long story about why, and I'll share this with you guys sometime soon. I'm recording this both for personal and commercial purposes. Knock yourself out, Dave. Knock yourself out, buddy. Do I want some money? Who doesn't want money? Let's see. Oh wow, what's going on with my face? I think I gained some weight over the pandemic. But that's been coming off steadily, and it's going to continue to come off. Last book I read that blew my mind. Uh that really blew my mind. Hmm. I think Sapiens by Yuval Harari. I think Sapiens by Yuval Harari is it. Let's see. Can you say hi to my friend Anid? That's funny. That's pretty funny. Oh, well, the gospel sound. Oh man, for a good couple of years, I completely stopped. I completely stopped playing jazz. And I only played gospel for a good couple of years and lived in churches pretty much and played in church 4 or 5 times a year and only hung out with gospel cats in my 20s. And some of it stuck, some of it stayed with me, and some of it, I don't do it as much anymore, but I have a little bit of it left in me, and I like it a lot. I That music is incredible, and I spent a good couple of years really diving deep inside of that music. So happy I did. Let's see what else is here. What else is here? Hi, Josie. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see what else is there. Yeah. Let's see. What else is here? Missed you too, buddy. I know I haven't made any videos in a while. I know. It's it's been, it's kind of a drag. Can I have your phone number? What, you want me to announce my phone number right here on the channel publicly, or would you want me to just write it? Like, how would you prefer me to give my phone number to the entire world? I loved Richard T, says Paul, gospel infused playing. Yeah, Richard T was amazing. Richard T was kind of uh, Richard T was kind of the cat back in the 70s, and he was playing on all these records. And yeah, he had a bunch of gospel in him, didn't he, Richard T? Uh, yeah, I miss cats like that. There's a guy named Xavier Taplin in LA, who to me is the next sort of generation of that. One second. One moment, let me see. Yep. Let's see what else is here. Am I single? Yes, I'm single. Where the hell were you, Russ? We missed you on YouTube. Yeah. Oh man, I haven't been making YouTube videos at all. It's just I never really signed up to be a television channel. I kind of gave the information I wanted to give, and I think it helps a lot of people. I get letters every other day, but I never really, to be a successful YouTuber, you sort of have to keep making videos all the time, all the time, all the time, and just so that the uh, algorithm likes you and wants to keep you around. I don't really feel like doing that. You know, I make videos because I have something to say and to share and to teach, not because not because you know I want to stay relevant on YouTube or anything like that. That's not something I've ever wanted to do, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions if I have. Uh, and and that's why I'm doing these, in case you guys have any questions that I haven't made videos on. I'll happy to answer all of them. Can you say more about the new record? Asks Paul. Vibes, tones, themes. Yeah, it's a little bit less It's a little bit less. The new record is going to be a little bit less consonant, a little bit more darker, sort of. It was written during the 2020 pandemic lockdown, so it's not as happy-go-lucky as the first one was, like a really pleasant one and really m- like really consonant. This one's a little different, a little darker, a little edgier, you know. What's the most relevant music-related question that nobody ever asks? Oh gosh, I'd have to think about that. Uh, oh, that nobody ever asks. I don't know. Wow, I'll have to think about that, Julian. What's the most relevant music question that nobody ever asks? Man, I've been asked a whole lot of questions by now. I do Q&As on my Instagram too, so that's another thing. Yeah, I'd have to get back to you on that one. Were you, Roman asks, were you already good at playing the piano as a child? When did you start playing jazz? I always had a good ear as a child, and that really helped. And I started playing by ear, and then my parents sent me to classical lessons, classical music lessons, and I started playing jazz around the age of 13. You know, I think that's the answer. Hey, I appreciate some of your live streams up here earlier in the pandemic. Really beautiful music, and it was helpful. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed those. I really wanted to challenge myself and get those done. You know. How can you work on your hearing? Drives me nuts. I mean, understanding chords and licks on record on the fly. Is it all just transcribing? Well, transcribing certainly helps, Melius. It certainly helps. Transcribing helps. There's an app called Ella that really helps with your ear training. I think that's a really cool app. You should get Ella for ear training. And it trains you in intervals very slowly, and it trains you and all of that sort of hearing stuff. Get Ella and transcribe. Any classical music piece you're studying right now? Yeah, I'm getting through Scarlatti Sonata in B minor. Boy, that's a hard piece to interpret. It's not hard to play, but it's really hard to interpret. Oh yeah, Liz. Yeah, the new album, you'll be hearing it pretty soon. The new album will be coming soon. Luckily, we found some funds for it, and we are recording an orchestra soon. We're going to use an overseas orchestra um, and record. Where we found the same one, I think, in Hungary that Danny Elfman is using. So if it's good enough for him, it's going to be good enough for me too. You know. So that's coming very soon. Let's see. Imagine one of your favorite YouTubers stopped his YouTube channel. that's why. That's why I felt glad you're back. Oh, thank you so much. You're very kind. Yeah, it's like I'm always open to help and answer questions on Instagram or anywhere and do these. It's just that I never thought I'm gonna become a TV channel. Like I don't understand this whole one video a week thing. Like, what if I don't have something important to teach? And then the quality of my content is going to go down. One of the things I like about my YouTube channel is I think it's really high quality content in terms of the information. Uh, but becoming a television channel is something different. Like, okay, now I'm going to make one a week so that people don't leave. Like, that's not something I ever wanted to do. You know, if you want, if you have any questions, Sedek, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name correctly. I'm always happy to answer. Look me up on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to help and answer anything you ever want to know or understand better. Any of that. I'm always here. I've never really disappeared. Have I seen the streams from Emmett Cohen, John Batiste? Yes, I have. I really like those a lot. Emmett and those guys are really burning. I haven't seen John Batiste streams, but I've seen the one that Emmett Cohen is doing. And Emmett is an amazing pianist. He's really great, and so uh, that's yeah. I really like what Emmett is doing, and I'm gonna check out the John Batiste one. I'm sure it's great as well. He's a really good musician, also. Yeah, good for Emmett. He really found a way to stream that whole thing, and he did it during the pandemic, and it really paid off because now he has a really big following, and people really love him for that. And I'm sure it's going to help him with booking gigs in the future because that's following. These people are following, and the more following you have, the more people are going to come see you play live, and the more people are going to come see you play live, the easier it is to the easier it is to get a booking agent. What do I think about Tigran Hamasyan? Wow. Tigran Hamasyan is one of the most interesting and unique artists, I think, of our times. Tigran Hamasyan is awesome. I haven't seen him in a while. He used to live in LA, so we used to see each other a little more. But I don't see him anymore. But he's absolutely mind-blowing artist, as far as I'm concerned. I really like him a lot. Looking good, Master. Hi from a French kitchen in Pasadena. Hello. What's up, French kitchen in Pasadena? I think you should just do videos at your own pacement. But yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. I have a couple more I want to make, and I will. That's coming for sure. But that's yeah, I'll but that's hopefully coming sometime soon. I really want to make some more. I just have very few ideas of like what I could really make that would be really helpful for you guys. Mm. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, Bob does vlogs, but that's Bob's thing. Bob does vlog videos, but that's kind of his thing. I kind of started on a different path. I was just explaining concepts, and Bob is explaining all of that stuff in his school, and he does vlogs and stuff. Yeah, that's awesome too. I've done a couple of those, but I think mostly of what people appreciated is when I was teaching people, actual concepts and like how to play and what to do, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's what most people were digging, you know. Do I ever get tired or frustrated with the constant grinding to make a living playing music? Sometimes I do get tired of that. Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. And for me, in terms of money, it's funny. Like some years I make a lot of money, and some years I make just enough. But I certainly had some years in my life, or some months. Hold on, that I literally was barely making ends meet, and yeah, that really gets to me, and I know exactly how that feels. Believe me, I've had some rough financial times in my life because I'm a musician, and I know exactly what that's like. Luckily, I get work most of the time. I'm okay. I stay working. People call me to do things, but yes, it's not that stability that you get from having a day job, or it's frustrating, and I'm sure it'll get more frustrating as I get older. I'm currently exploring other avenues of income too, and teaching myself a couple of other things because I don't know that I still want to tour that much, you know, these days, or certainly won't want to do it in the future. So yeah, I understand, Julian. I understand completely. I really, really get it. Oh, we have 18 people. That's cool. I guess YouTube is showing my video to others. Hit that like button for me and that thumbs up button so that YouTube will show the video to others. If all of you guys will hit the like button, YouTube will appreciate it and it will show it to more of my subscribers. Any interesting tone at the moment? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you explain? What kind of avenues are you exploring, if you don't mind expanding on that? Oh yeah, I'm doing some crypto mining and stuff like that. Um, just basically acquiring assets. In that regard, things that put money in your pocket, as opposed to the other way around. How would you define your style of playing? Gosh, I don't know. Oh, hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I think there is some jazz in it. Uh, there's some R&B and gospel in it. There's some classical in it, but that doesn't really put any firm definitions on anything, does it? Not really. Hmm. I'm not really sure how I would define. How would you define my style of playing? Why don't you define it for me? Maybe you'll do a better job than I did, because I don't really know. I don't. I'm some kind of a jazz player. I know that, but that's a very broad definition. You know, that's a really broad definition. Yeah. Melodic, intelligent, structured. Structured? Holy cow. You really think my playing is structured? That's cool. I appreciate it. That's the biggest thing I'm struggling with, is having my playing be actually structured. I try to be melodic. I mean, I try to be as intelligent as I can, but the structured thing is a real kick in the butt for me. Um, Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad it comes across. Any interesting tone you like to hear recently? Yeah, the tone of the singing of Pedro Martins. Pedro Martins is a guitar player from Brazil, and I really like the tone of all his music. Uh, Actually, he's a probably one of my favorite artists right now on the scene. Pedro Martins is really great. I like his tone a lot. I'm unique. Well, yeah, I hope. I think all of us to some extent are unique, and I guess I am too. Yeah, it's just these things are really hard to define. You know, these things are really hard to define. Like, how do you can define it in so many different ways. You could look at it from a content place, from a genre place. Like, that's what's tricky. You know, that's kind of what I think. Soccer players slow time when it looks so fast. You have that ability too. Oh, thank you. Well, depends how fast, and depends what, and depends on what the context is musically. Some of that stuff is not as easy as it seems. Some of it is for me. Some of it is not. But thank you. What do you think about Guthrie Govan as a musician? I have to be honest, I'm not familiar with Guthrie Govan. Um, I'll check out that name and see what do I think. Should I check it out? What is it like? What kind of music is it? You seem to create space when there is none. Yeah, I have to. If it's like I have to do that because it gives me time to, hear what I want to play next. And space is something that's created. Just because something is very fast, it doesn't mean you can't have space. Especially when it's fast, you want to have space. At least in the beginning stages of the solo. Uh, um, so thank you. I'm glad you noticed that. I try to do that, but yeah, I think we all should be able to create space when things get fast in life as well. Do I think it's essential to listen to Bird? I think if you want to know how to play over chord changes well, I think you should check out what Bird did at some point in your education. Yes, I think if you're interested in playing on chord changes, then Bird is definitely one of the pillars of how that's done. So checking him out is cool, and check out the Omni book, which is a book of transcriptions of his famous solos. Yes, if you want to play over changes and play over changes well, at some point you're going to have to deal with Bird. Do you play another instrument? Yeah, I play bass, I play some drums, and I play some guitar. And I love playing all of these things a lot. I love playing all of these things a lot. He's a fusion guitar virtuoso. He's great. Ah, that's awesome. That's great. Got it. Guthrie is a fusion guitar virtuoso. Awesome. That's super cool. Let's see what else we have here. Right. Oh, Roberto, thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. I'm glad you liked the album. That's really, really, really cool. I'm so happy you liked it. It's the music that I needed uh, to release. I needed to make an album like that, like a big, pretty album. I want to make more, but my next album is going to sound a little different. It's a little more jazz oriented, a little more playing oriented, a little less appropriate for the Weather Channel. Or maybe some of it is, but you know what I mean. My previous record could have easily had a bunch of tracks playing in a mall, in a shopping mall. I think that this new one may be only going to have like one track like that, if any. Do I get excited about gear? No, I absolutely don't. Uh, I don't. I shit, man. I wish I had a longer answer. I really could care less. I used to be super into it when I was a kid. Well, I used to be super into a lot of things when I was a kid. Well, now I really could care less. Do you ever listen to Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Nugget? Yeah, yes, I did in the past. I'm familiar, but no, not these days. Somehow I haven't revisited that piece. Do I know about Maurice El Midioni? I don't. Who's that? Tell me about him. Who is that person? A musician? What do they play? What do they do? Tell me more. What are the best places right now in the US for jazz musicians? Meaning the places that teach you the best. There's only one place that teaches you the best in the United States, and that's New York City. And it's been like that for a very, very long time now, for many, many, many decades. If you want to study jazz and really, really get your butt kicked and really learn, New York City is the only place I can think of. Do you get bored playing the piano and sometimes don't feel like playing for days? Oh, absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. I feel that a lot. I get that feeling. And sometimes I won't play for a few days. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I won't play for a while until I want to play again or practice. Unless I need something to do something for a project or for work, then, it's different. But yeah, a lot of times I feel exactly that way. Do I watch the live streams from Smalls? Yes, I do. I do watch those. Those are great. Those are great. Boy, some of those streams. That's like being in New York. Some of those guys in Smalls like are so. I mean, it's unbelievable that we can watch those live streams from Smalls just like that. It's absolute gift. I can't believe we get to watch those. Am I watching the Chopin competition? I'm not. I didn't even realize that it's happening. I'll check it out. Best advice for beginning jazz musicians? Yes. Here's the advice for beginning jazz musicians: prepare to be very underwhelmed by the advice. Listen to a lot of music that you like, jazz music, and take lessons in the beginning. In the beginning, take lessons. Do you think on extended structures like D major 7 or E major 7 on C? What do you mean by that? Like extended structures as in like upper structure on top of those triads? Is that what you mean? I'm by my bed because I'm charging my phone, but I think I can move away from it pretty soon. Yeah, I think my phone is fine. What types of things does one need to know? I think New York City can meet you at your level. I think New York City has everything for every level, you know. I think there's plenty of things for beginners to check out. There's plenty of things for advanced people to check out. Like, I know if I go to New York City, I'm going to get my ass kicked. Absolutely. Not by a lot of people, but by probably at least 10 people, or maybe more, you know. Because, yeah, New York City will meet you at your level, whichever level that is, you know. New York City has something amazing for everyone. I really think so. Do I watch other YouTube pianists like Peter Martin or Dave Frank? I don't. I sometimes do, and the reason I don't is not because like someone like Peter Martin could school me on a million things. But the reason I don't usually watch his channel is because his channel is geared towards the majority of the people who watch YouTube, which is beginners and intermediate players. So everything he talks about on his channel, I kind of already know, and he has to keep it on that level because most of the people who watch the channel are going to be beginners, and that's normal. So if I could sit down with Peter Martin, he could teach me a lot of things, because Peter Martin is unbelievable. It's just that he doesn't teach those things on his channel because it would be over most people's heads. So he talks about simpler concepts that are also very important, but I'm usually familiar with most of them already. So that's why I don't regularly watch most YouTubers, because most of it is not geared towards advanced players. Most of it is geared towards beginners and intermediate players. This was also one of the reasons I released some of my videos, like about motivic development and stuff like that, because I couldn't really see a lot of systematic material like that for sort of advanced players on YouTube. Most people are not advanced, and so most material on YouTube is not advanced material because it's directed at people who are going to potentially be watching it. So I hope that answers your question. Lead sheets or learning tunes by ear? Definitely by ear is better. Definitely by ear is better. But I should practice what I preach. I should do that more myself. Bob Reynolds was just telling me that. He was saying, dude, learn the stuff by ear. And he's so right. It's much better by ear. Much better. What do I think of Rick Beato? Rick's great. Rick is a really good musician who's done a lot of different things in his life, and he has just enough on every front of sort of musical of the music business and music as art, rock, jazz, mixing, country, producing. He knows a lot of things about a lot of things in music, which makes him very relevant for a wide population on YouTube. He is doing it big time. And now that he has big following, he can also get big interviews with big artists, which is also really cool, because then we get to hear those artists be interviewed by someone as musically intelligent as Rick, right? Because sometimes the interview is only as good as the interviewer. And because Rick is a musician and a good musician, he will ask good questions. And so then the interviews become cooler, because now if the questions are good, we can really hear what those artists have to say. So yeah, I think Rick is great, and a lot of people watch him, and I can see why. Is there something I would like to play from other composers but find too hard? Yeah, all the Rachmaninoff stuff, all the classical stuff. I mean, it's not that it's too hard. It would just take me a really long time. And sometimes I actually won't say, I'd like to play this, but it's going to take a lot of work. So I don't do it. Yeah, all the classical composers. A lot of that stuff is really hard. When you transcribe, do you write it down? Is there merit to doing so? I tend to just do it by ear and not write it down. I agree. I think it's better to not write it down. I think it's better to do it by ear. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. You can later write it down if you want. You can later write it down just to see, maybe visually analyze it. But yes, the initial transcription should be done by ear. I couldn't agree more. I 100% agree. What do you think of Vijay Iyer? Seems way overhyped. Man, it's an interesting question. I never know what to think of him, because when I hear him play, I can't be like, you know what, that dude is not a good player. He never plays something a bad player would play. You know, he never plays something that a bad player would play. Uh, but yeah, I can't say I listen to his music a lot. I don't. It seems like very, very conceptual. It seems like it's a very conceptual player. And I guess that's a hit or miss for me sometimes, you know? What is your gospel background? In your drop two video with weekly piano, you talk about playing in church and being around gospel musicians that have that sound. Yeah, that is exactly my gospel background. I played a lot of gospel music with a lot of gospel musicians and tried to check out how they play. There's nothing, I mean, there aren't any real gospel schools. Like, you have to be around the musicians and see how they do it and play with them and let some years go by. And that's, uh, and that's just, you know, time investment. That's my background. I played with a bunch of gospel artists and a bunch of churches, a bunch of Bible studies and a bunch of rehearsals and a bunch of Sunday services. And that's the background. What would you do different if you could go back in time and learn music and piano all over again? Maybe I'd practice a little more jazz and bebop in my teens. In my teens, I would maybe practice more bebop, more jazz, transcribe more in those years. Do you not learn by ear because of your Soviet Union training? No, no, no. I'm just lazy. I started playing by ear in Soviet Union. The training came later. I'm reading it because it's a lot easier for me to read the piece from a page than to memorize it, especially when we're talking about multiple pieces from multiple artists and multiple shows. I'm just lazy. How do you learn to recognize to what key a piece modulates? Well, you know what the key is that it's in originally. And then you develop relative pitch. You become good at recognizing intervals. You become good at recognizing intervals. You listen to the bass motion. And if the song is on this key, and a do, 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 do. So that's do, da, da, do, do. That's a Triton up. It's just hearing intervals. You have to have good relative pitch, and that will help you a lot with recognizing where everything's going. Did you meet Barry Harris before? No. I guess I wish I did. It doesn't really matter, but I'm studying quite a bit of his stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Barry Harris is a gift to all of us, and he's bringing how they used to play in the past, and he's really breaking it down for all of us. And it's really, really cool, the stuff that Barry Harris does and teaches. Brad Meldo, opinion. Well, there was Herbie Hancock, there was Chick Corea, there was Keith Jarrett, and then there was Brad Meldo. That's my opinion. He is one of the pillars of, he will go down in history as one of the most important jazz pianists ever, I think. That's my opinion. Can I explain how a Triton substitution works? Absolutely. If you play a 7 chord, right, like a C7, the bass of every 7 chord, that's a Triton substitution, the bass of every dominant chord can be replaced with a note that's a Triton away from it. So if it's a C7 and you play F sharp, which is a Triton away, that's going to work. If it's a G7 and you play C sharp in the bass, which is a Triton away, that's also going to work. Basically, the rule is every dominant 7 chord or altered chord, any dominant function chord, you can replace the bass note with it with what's a Triton away from it, and it's gonna sound good. That's a Triton substitution in a nutshell. I'd like to learn how to improvise on one single chord. Yeah, yeah, that's hard to do. I tried to do that in my live streams because when the chord is one single chord, you have to really get creative and carry the interest of the music yourself with interesting storytelling and your improvisation, because the chord changes aren't going to help you. It's going to be one chord. Improvising on one chord is a challenge. Freddie Hubbard used to say that. How do you maintain such a wide-ranging vocabulary of voicings, movements? Do you lose some like me if you don't play them a while? Wow. I wonder if I lose some. You have to also keep in mind that most of my life I spent playing. I probably did more playing in my life than everyone on this live stream combined with one another. So whenever I learned something new, I had a million opportunities to use it and ingrain it in my brain, right? Ingrain it into my brain. And also, I was younger, so my brain didn't need as much repetition for it to go down. I can still learn things now, but it takes a longer for me to retain. But yeah, it comes down to how much do you get to apply those voicings. Like, I made music for a living my whole life. So do you think I got the chance to apply? Yeah, absolutely I did. Oh my God, my neighbors are so loud. My single biggest influence? Maybe Pat Metheny. Maybe Pat Metheny. Do we hear everything before you play it? No, I don't. Not everything. Sometimes I hear things while I play, a second before I play it, and then it's kind of a really fast process. But the more I hear, the better my playing becomes, because you ultimately want to hear as much as possible of what you're playing. And that's not an easy thing to achieve. But yes, the more I hear of what I play, the better my playing is. I would actually like to learn how to improvise on tricky chord changes. I'm trying some Jobim. Any tips? Any tips? I have at least 5 or 6 videos explaining how to improvise on tricky chord changes. Oh, check those out. They're on this very channel you're watching right now. Yeah, my neighbors are having a birthday party or something, and it's so loud that my YouTube people can hear it. Do I sing internally while when I'm improvising? No, I don't. I don't think I do. No. Yeah, yeah. I have videos that are literally called "How to Improvise on Chord Changes," and there's a playlist on the channel, and it has a bunch of videos. Check it out. Oh, we have like over 20 people here. Amazing. Maybe YouTube will forgive me and start showing my videos to people again. YouTube doesn't like it when you don't make videos. No, 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 it does not. Well, we've been doing this an hour. I've been here for an hour. Thank you guys so much. This was fun. I'll do more of these, I promise. And and I'll see you guys very soon. And my CD will be coming early next year. Up until then, I'll be playing around Los Angeles, where I'm staying. I'm not going to be touring for the rest of the year. I'll be in LA um, and playing around Los Angeles. And shit, thank you all so much. This was fun. I'll do one of these really soon. Promise I'll be back. Bye.